Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you on how to use Scratch. So basically, I'll be going over every single thing in Scratch. So yes, that does mean this video will be long, but at least you'll know how to use Scratch by the end of it. Alright, anyway, let's start with the art. So first, we have the select tool. The select tool, you can select anything you want, like a leg or just anything, basically. So you can select it, or you can select it and click delete. But if you don't like what you did, you can actually just click Control Z, and then it will all pop back up. Now, one other thing you can do is just delete this whole Scratch Cat, and then delete this other costume. Now let's go over the paint. The paint is pretty simple. You can draw with it and all of that. It just makes it really nice. So, and then if you don't like this purple, you can come up here and change it to whatever color you like. And then this thing right here is basically just setting up the width of it. So if it's thicker, then it will make the width bigger, just like that. Now I'll be going over the shapes. So first, let's go over the line. The line is pretty self-explanatory. You can just make a line. You can make a thick border for it like this. And then if you want to connect lines, you'll see a blue little dot pop up. You click and then it'll connect. Just draw a line from there. And if you see that it's not exactly what you're wanting, like it's not straight, just hold down shift and it'll make a perfectly straight line, no matter what. Just like that. Now, for the circle, you can make the circle whatever you want. Like you can make it like this or this, like this, just within your control. But if you don't like that and you want a perfect circle, how you're gonna do this is you're actually gonna hold down shift and make a circle, and it's always gonna be perfect, no matter what size. But if you don't want them there and you want them actually in the middle, you're going to hold down shift and alt, and that will center it perfectly. And then same with squares. You can hold down shift to make them perfect, or just whatever square you want. Shift alt makes them nice and centered. With all this being said, now let's go on to the center. So let's say you make a nice little shape, right? This crosshair right here needs to be in the middle all the time, no matter what. Because if it's not in the middle, it could potentially ruin your game. So that's what I do. Just remember to always snap it into the middle. Just like that. Okay, now let's go over costumes. So for costumes, you can click surprise, which would give you a random costume. Or you can click upload and you can draw, or you can draw a costume in a different app and upload it to Scratch. Or you could just go here and simply pick one out that they've already made. Or you can paint another costume like this. So costumes are handy for different levels, animations, and all that stuff. So now let's say we have this simple little sprite. Now let's go to coding. So first, name it whatever you want to be. I'm gonna name mine player. Once you have that, you can make any sprite you want. You can paint one, you can search one, You can surprise it, like it'll give you a random one, or you can draw your own sprite in a different software. Same goes for the backgrounds. You can do any of these. So with that being said, now let's get into coding. So first, move 10 steps. Basically just moves you 10 steps. If you want to go the other way, negative 10 steps for left. And if you don't like it where it is, then you can come here and click go to 0, 0, and it'll set it right there. So if it's right here, go to 0, 0. Alright, now turn 15 degrees. It's pretty self-explanatory. It just turns your cube or whatever you have. It's kind of hard to see, so I'll make it a little easier. It just turns your cube however much you want it. And the same goes with this, but the opposite way. And it just turns it wherever you want. Alright, now let's get into the other blocks. Now go to random position. This one right here, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you click it, it just goes somewhere random, but if you don't like that, you can go back to your spot. And with all that being said, now we've already done this, glide to. Basically just glides to whatever position you want. So if you want it to glide to the mouse pointer, it'll glide to the mouse pointer. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then glide to a certain position, let's say. It's right here right now, and we want it to go to 0, 0, which is the middle of the screen. Click it, it'll glide to 0, 0. Alright, point and 90 degrees. Pretty self-explanatory. Again, you can click it and it'll point in whatever degrees you want. 180 degrees, it'll point 180, negative 90, 0. It's pretty simple to understand this. Alright, anyway, now let's go to point towards mouse pointer. This will literally just point towards the mouse pointer wherever you're at. So let's say my block is up here. Go down here, it's just pointing to my mouse pointer even if I'm off the screen. So now let's do the change X and the set X's. So change X basically is just making you go this way, or if you want to change X by negative 10, you'll go that way. So here's it in action. Just like this. And then same goes for Y. Y is up and down, so I'm pretty sure that's pretty simple to figure out. 10 is positive, so up. 10 is negative 10, so down. So yeah, it's pretty simple to understand. And then set X2 is if you want to go here, you can set it to there if you want. So let's do negative 1. Set X to negative 146 and set Y to 108. Put these together and it'll go there. So like if I'm right here, it'll go there. So that's pretty simple to understand. And then if on edge, bounce. So if it's touching edge, then bounce. But it's not in a forever loop. I'll get to what that is in just a second here. Set rotation style. This is basically just setting your rotation, so don't rotate. You don't rotate. All around is basically just going all around, and it doesn't really matter what it is. So, and then the X position, it says your X position, your Y position. It just tells you where you are, even though this tells you where you are. So it doesn't really, those don't really matter. Direction. This kind of does matter if you're pointing in 119, which if I type 119, you'll see that I'm pointing that way. So Yeah, it's pretty nice. So if I point towards mouse pointer and then click this, it'll point in the same direction. 119, so yeah. Alright, now let's get into looks. Oh sorry, my mic just turned off for a second. Sorry about that. So let's get rid of all of these here, and to get rid of a block, you just drag it into here, and it will get rid of all of it. Alright, this place is like really self-explanatory. I might not have to go over all of it. If something's really confusing, let me know in the comments. So say hello for 2 seconds, says hello for 2 seconds. It's self-explanatory. Think is the same thing. Switch costume. So this is actually a big part. So switching costume. So let's say I'm gonna delete this, and then I'm gonna duplicate this, and then I'm gonna move this over here. So switch to costume 2, switch to costume 2, switch to costume 1, and these are your costumes right here. It says costume 2 and costume 1, so it's pretty self-explanatory on what costume you're switching to. Next costume does the same thing, but in this case I don't have a next costume, so switch to backdrop. We'll go over that later in the video. I'll explain that later. Change size. It's basically just changing your size or set size to 100. Then it just reverts me back to 100. Pretty self-explanatory on that one. Change color effect. This one's kind of weird, but if you put it in a forever loop, which I'll get to later, like this is basically just saying it goes on forever and it'll keep switching your color. I'm not really supposed to get into this stuff yet, but change ghost. I've never actually. Oh, that's weird. Whirl. It's just twirls it. Pixelate. It basically turns you into pixels. I don't know what just happened. I'm gonna change that back. Pixelate to 0%. Okay, that's weird. Let's go to costume 1. Let's do brightness. Brightness basically is just saying, like, if it's this bright, it literally just turns white. Like, it's so bright that it does that. Ghost effect. Set this to 50. And if you do it, 20. No, let's do. Oh, my bad. Let's do 50. Like this, and then let's set brightness to 50 or 0. Look, I don't know why it's not working. I'm just gonna paint brand new sprite. There we go, that should be better. Alright, now we can get back to this. Set ghost effect to 25. Now we're going to set it by 25. And it just makes it a little transparent. So you can make it as transparent as you want. It doesn't really matter. Set ghost effect, blah blah blah. These don't matter. Clear graphic effect. This is basically just clearing all of this. And then show and hide, pretty self-explanatory. This hides the sprite. This actually shows the sprite, so go to front layer. This is basically going to the very front of everything. And then go forward 1 layer. or however many layers, blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter. Costume number. These are pretty self-explanatory. It says the size, your costume number, and sprite 1, costume number, and backdrop number. And then sounds. Jeez, sorry about that. My mic is dying, so it keeps cutting off. Play sounds. This one's very simple. Play sound, pop. And then if you go in here, you can upload your own sounds or just use the actual, or you could record or use sprites already sounds. Start sound, stop all sounds. This just stops everything. Change pitch. This makes it higher, so like be like at a high frequency. And then low is like low, like low. And then clear sound effects. This basically just clears everything. Change volume. This can make your volume go up. Set volume. Set your volume to wherever it is. Volume. You can see your volume. Now this is where you actually start making your game. When green flag clicked, start pop sound. So when you click the green flag, it just starts a pop sound. And yeah, so when you do it, pop. So when green flag clicked, set all your code that you want to be here. When key blah 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 is pressed, then do something. That's basically what it's saying. When the sprite is clicked, we'll switch to costume. Go to back layer. We'll go to back layer. So it already is at the back layer. So then we'll set change color effect by 25. Yeah, see? Now it's working. Alright, and then back to events. When backdrop switches to backdrop 2, then do something. So like if your backdrop is on costume 2, then do something. Jeez bro, sorry, my mic keeps going off. Alright, when loudness is greater than whatever you set the loudness to, then do something. Broadcast message, this one's actually pretty fun. If you broadcast like go, if you broadcast go into the player. When I receive go, motion, move 20 steps. So here we go. And it's just moving every time we click the green flag. You can put this in a forever so it will keep moving, which I'll actually show you that right now. Forever, you guys have already seen this. So you basically just does that. It's pretty simple and self-explanatory. And now we're actually in the controls, so perfect timing. This part is actually really self-explanatory. Wait 1 second. I think you can all explain that for yourself. Repeat 10 times. Repeat the code that you want 10 times. So you'll just do it 10 times. And then forever. You guys have already seen that. Do it forever. And then if. So this one we'll actually get to in a little bit. If key blah 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 is pressed, then move 10 steps. Like, that's how simple this one is. And then if key is pressed, then move 10 steps, else don't move. So yeah. And then wait until like touching edge or something like that. And then repeat until touching color black. And I'll get to that, but stop all basically just stops every single script that you've made. Create clone of myself. This makes it clone, and then you can put it somewhere. I don't know what you want to do with that. Delete the clone. You can, well, simply delete a clone. Sensing. So I'm gonna grab out a couple of these just to show you. So like if touching color pink, then will go to this. That's just a simple collider system. So let's say there's a black outline around this whole thing right here, and then you try to walk, and if you walk up to it, it'll reset you back here. That's basically what this can do. And then repeat until touching colored pink, repeat until touching colored pink. And that's basically what that does. And then that's what you can do with this. And then distance to mouse pointer, I don't think you'll ever really need this, but distance to mouse or player is this. So I don't think you'll ever really actually need that. Ask what is your name? Ask hi, and then answer. And then you can get what you want with that. So when green flag, click to ask hi. And then I don't really know what you can do with the answer. It doesn't really matter. Ask hi. If you say hi, the answer is hi. So hi, hi, and then up here, if equals, if the answer equals hi, then forever. If answer equals hi, then forever looks change color effect by 25. So this simple code right here is just saying if you answer with hi, then forever it'll make it go rainbow. So if you say hi, it'll just start going rainbow. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you ask it, what is your name? And you say, my name is this, B, then it'll do that. So if you get the right answer, then it'll do something for you. But if you, or you could just keep going on with dialogue and saying whatever you want with dialogue and all of that stuff. So this super simple. Let's go through the rest of sensing. This is what I really wanted to show you. If the right arrow is pressed, then you're going to change X by 10. So if right arrow is clicked, I'm gonna say hi, just for fun. And then let's get a when green flag clicked and a forever loop. The forever loop in this just makes it so if you click the right arrow, it will always do what you ask it. Hi. And this basically, it's just moving my character. If I click the right arrow, it just moves it like that. Super simple, easy to understand. Let's go through the rest of it. If mouse down, this means like if you're clicking something, then you'll make something happen. Super simple. If mouse down, then move. Yeah, it's simple. Mouse X and mouse Y, I'm gonna say like over here and over here. This is mouse X. This is mouse Y right here. This is mouse X. So I don't know what you can really do with that. You can try to get creative. I don't know how to use that, so I'm not gonna go over that. Set drag not draggable, so we'll make this guy not draggable. So when green flag clicked, not draggable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn now unlock this. So not draggable is still draggable in the actual editor, but if you go to C project page, it's not. You can't drag it at all. So yeah. Alright, anyway, now Loudness timer just shows all of this. Reset timer, this just makes your timer go reset. Backdrop of stage, so we could do point and direction of player direction. This right here is basically just saying, like, you can put it somewhere, but point and direction of 90 degrees. You'll put this in there, and then it'll point towards the player and shoot from there. If you know what I'm talking about, that's just like an RPG shooter game, but yeah. Current year, 2024. I don't know why they added this. Oh my gosh. What is that? Username, it'll just say your username, so. And then operators, this is where all the math comes in, so this may not be too easy to understand. These, however, are easy to understand, so plus what does something, this minus what does something times divided, you get it. So pick random, this is just picking random. We can do X position, pick random X position to Y position. I'll just pick random position. So like this. 2, 2, 6. So I'll set the X to 2, 2, 6. So it just picks random. So yeah, that's pretty simple to understand. This, if greater equals, so like if X position equals 16, then we'll do set size to set size. What's position size? This, I don't really know what that does actually. So if it equals 16, then move, I guess. High. The X position equals 16, so 16, we'll set it to 16. Whatever that is. It doesn't really matter, but if the X position equals 16, then change X by 10, which just moves it. Anyway, that's pretty simple. Back to operators, and so like you can make something happen, like if mouse down and key is pressed, then change X. So I'm gonna click down so you can hear this, and then click my right arrow, and it will move. But if I don't click it, see I didn't click it, and I drag this back here, if I don't click, but I clicked my key, nothing happens. So this is basically saying you have to do this and this to actually get it to work. Or if mouse down or right arrow is clicked, then or X position. This doesn't really matter. It's just a dumb script. Join apple and banana. Apple and banana, so you can join the X position, 29 and banana, and then pick random. -294. So that's just a random X position. Or you could do mod Y position, and then you could do X position. This mods it. It's like this. 203. That's nice, I guess. But operators, let's go back here. Letter 1 of apple, which is A. Letter 2 of P, which is P. So this is just basically saying letter of a word. If letter 2, blah blah blah. I don't know what you can really do with this, it doesn't really matter. Length of apple is 5, and then apple contains A. If the apple contains the letter A, then you can make something happen. So, move, blah blah blah. Can't really use that. Mod, I don't really know what this does yet, I'm not that advanced. Round, this rounds a number to something, and then abs, this just sets or does something like floor. If you're touching floor, then you can set anything to floor. So variables, this is my favorite part. You can make any variable you want, so blah blah blah, set this to 0. 2, 4, 5. I'm gonna remove this ask thing because I don't want that. And then my variable set to 0. We can get rid of all these later, but they're basically just setting a variable to 0. There's no room for anything, so you can't really see where the variable is actually. So it doesn't really matter. And then change variable, so this is just saying like if you're touching the color red, then change score by 1 if you make a variable named score. And then show variable and hide variable. This basically just shows everything, but there's too many variables that I can't do that. Make a list, blah 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 blah. I don't know why it's not working for this sprite. Make a block, so block. And then if you click run without screen refresh, this makes it so that it will actually go without you clicking the green flag. So it will just do it no matter what. Just does it without you ever having to do anything. That's basically all of the code that you need to learn. And I told you of what everything does, so now you can be maybe a master at this. Backdrops. Let's get into backdrops. These, same thing, you can draw a backdrop, shift, perfect square. This is the backdrop, so like this. I'm gonna make a new one. I'm gonna dye it blue. So, player. And this is where you can make something happen if you're touching the edge. Touching edge. Then next backdrop. Next backdrop. Since I'm touching the edge, this will just happen, I guess. And as you can see, if I'm not touching the edge, so if I'm over here, this won't work, but if you are touching the edge, then it most definitely will work. So that's all I have for you guys today. That is a whole thing made, and before you go, I'll teach you how to do some simple scripts. So in this player, we're going to set ghost effect to 0. I'm just going to delete all of these players and I'm going to make a new player. Then we're going to dye it white. Now I'm going to teach you how to make a movement script. When green flag clicked, forever grab 4 ifs. This is just the basics of what you need to know for movement. Change x by 10. Change x by -10 for left arrow. And then y is up and down, so change y by negative. And then let's grab some if statements. grab about 4 of them. Right arrow. Oh my bad, that's not the key. Grab key statements, grab about 4 of them, and we are just going to make these right arrow and left arrow for negative, up arrow for positive, and down arrow for negative. And just like that, now you have simple movement. So it's pretty self-explanatory to learn that. If you want to get more advanced, I'll show you how. You're actually going to need the change X at the top, change Y at the top, and then you're going to make a variable. We're going to call it X val. Don't worry, you won't always need to do this. It's just more advanced script for better movement. So we're going to change X by X val and Y val. Oh my bad. No, you need to set X to X val and set Y to Y val. And then just take these out like that. And then we're going to get the variable change X val by 1, change X val by -1, change Y val by 1, change Y val by -1. Now let's grab some operators. Let's grab times X val times 0.8, just like that. Going to duplicate, change this to Y val, put the X val script here, Y val there, and then when you play, you should see that you get nice and easy movement. If this doesn't work, you can just do this, and then change X by X val times Y val, X val. Why isn't this working? Stop. There we go. Put it right here. Should work. Oh, my bad. We gotta set it to 0, 0. Go to what the fudge? There we go. It's not working. I think I probably messed it up, but that doesn't really matter. Oh, this is just for a joystick. Anyway, that doesn't really matter, but just stick with a simple script, and I'll try to figure out this advanced script. I don't know why it's not working. It did work for me, but it's not anymore, so. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know how I did. If I did bad, I'll try to make another video that explains more. And if you liked it, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.